How do you actually set up direct deposit for employees this year? I mean, a lot of small business owners actually struggle with setting direct deposit. They think they have to go to a third party to set up direct deposit, but you don't have to. If you follow the guide that I'm giving you into this conversation, you can set up direct deposit for your employees real fast and really automate your entire payroll process real fast, okay? The thing is, modern employers and small businesses need options when it comes to maintaining payroll processes and paying workers, right? Although paper checks are still an acceptable form of compensation, digital and electronic payment methods offer way more. They offer increased flexibility. You have convenience. You have security. You have a pretty streamlined process, okay? And so into this conversation, I want to explain to you the fact that the direct deposit process is one way to deliver payment quickly and efficiently, especially if you are trying to save money. Let's first go back a little quickly to direct deposit 101. What is direct deposit? Let's first explain what the process is before I get into the nitty gritty. So when you think about direct deposit, I want you to really think about an electronic transfer of funds that's made from a payer directly to a payee's bank account. So the payer can be a company, or the payer can also be a government organization, or it can be an individual, really, okay? So direct deposit is often used by an employer to pay the wages or commission of an employee, but can also be used for regular payments of any type. So direct deposit is actually a safe and reliable process that can deliver funds electronically to specified bank accounts instead of using a physical check. I mean, nowadays you have a lot of, especially the younger generation, people are using mobile payments, okay? Gone are the days of having paper checks. So the direct deposit process depends on a stable and secure electronic network to move money from one party to another. And so standard income is not the only application for direct deposit payments. You might be able to receive direct deposit funds if you have an expected tax refund and choose this method through the IRS filing process. If you let's say you expect to receive investment funds or payouts from retirement accounts, or you have incoming funds through programs such as Social Security. So let me explain to you how direct deposit works before I actually explain to you how to set it up, okay? Now, direct deposit works by using encrypted electronic communication between the financial institutions of the payer and the payee. I want to really, focus on two terms: encryption and financial institutions. Okay, encryption in the sense that the data, when it is originated, is actually hidden from, let's say, from bad actors, if you will. Okay, but financial institutions. So if you want to have direct deposit, you got to have some kind of financial institution or financial backbone. It can be. It doesn't have to be a bank. It can be a bank. It can be a credit union. It could also be a government agency, such as the IRS, for instance, the Treasury Department. Okay, so you got to have those two between the payee and the payer. So if an employee would like to use direct deposit, the employer collects and saves their bank account information. On paydays, the employer sends instruction to their bank to start the payroll process. Sometimes the payer will even send direct deposit info 2 days before payday so that the direct deposit process is started a little earlier, okay? Now, what happens here is that the bank in turn leverages an electronic network called the Automated Clearinghouse, ACH. And when banks use the term ACH payment, they are referring to funds that transfer electronically through this network. And the ACH sorts the information and routes the transfer to the proper bank, and the bank then deposits the funds into the account of the employee. So that's really, in a nutshell, what happens. Now, successful transfers only happen when both the payer and payee have accurate bank routing and account information on file. Sometimes it can be your routing number, your account number, okay, and that's important. Now, once a payment is issued through the ACH network, funds are deposited at midnight on the business day of the payout, and the transferred funds, there's something that's really happening here. The transferred funds automatically clear, meaning that there should not be a hold on the money after it has been transferred, right? But again, you got to have a secure electronic network. By the way, when it comes to direct deposit, this is not just happening in the States. It happens internationally. It happens in other countries also, in Canada, in Europe, in Asia, in Africa. So, but you do need to have a secure electronic network. It doesn't have to be the ACH network, but in the States, at least in the States, we have the ACH network. But in other countries, they have other systems as well. So let's talk about how to set up direct deposit for employees this year. So basically, establishing the foundation for payroll transactions is actually a shared responsibility between the payer and the payee. In other words, between you as a business owner and your employee, right? So if you are the payer, if you are the business owner, you have an obligation to initiate the framework, and your employee, the payee, should provide accurate bank account information. Without those two, you are going to struggle big time. So first thing first, you want to choose a payroll service provider. If you want to set up direct deposit for your employees, you got to really choose a proper payroll service provider that understands your industry, that understands your business operations, that understands the kind of employees you are paying. If you're paying full-time employees, or you're paying 1099 contractors, or you're paying whatever, okay? So a payroll service provider can be a great help in organizing and streamlining the payment of your employees. As a business or organization, you must first establish the ability to perform direct deposit through your normal software. So if you're using maybe QuickBooks, you're using Wave, you're using FreshBooks, you're using whatever you're using, okay? So that's important. And the cool thing is most accounting software includes an easy to set up payroll service that provides direct deposit as one of its core function. You also have ADP, by the way, okay? Or you can work directly with banks and financial institutions for setup and approval. So if for any reason you're not using accounting software this year and you want to really go another route, you can talk to your bank directly as well. So that's the first thing. So you want to choose a payroll service provider. The second thing you want to do is you want to establish a company payroll account. So a specific business bank account is required to make direct deposits. Now this account must be set up to make successful ACH transactions regularly. Okay, which means what? There has to be enough money in the account so that the bank is not really running overdraft. You're not really having overdraft risk here. Additionally, it's crucial that the available funds are present before completing a payroll cycle. You got to have the funds before. Next thing you want to do here is to send a direct deposit authorization form to employees. The thing is that if you want to set up direct deposit for employees, that process doesn't start on payday. No, it has to happen way before. And usually employees have to go through the whole process as soon as they're hired. As soon as they're hired, one of the forms that the HR will send to them is a direct deposit authorization form. Okay, so an authorization form is one that an employer sends directly to each employee, typically upon hire. So at a minimum, the form should request an individual's contact information, bank account information, and routing number. Okay, so a voided check can also be attached to the authorization form. The reason why companies want to have a voided check is because there could be some mistakes. There could be mistakes when it comes to having the right account number or having the right routing number. So, but if you have a voided check, that information is right there, is available right there. Okay. Now, some authorization form may ask for a social security number for further identity verification. I mean, nowadays you have so many scams happening on the internet that it's just better to actually get extra info. So, the next thing you want to do here is that you want to verify. If you are an employer, you want to verify. So you want to verify correct account information before you even initiate direct deposits. Okay, you want to verify that everything is accurate. So once an authorization form or direct deposit form is received, the payroll or finance department must upload this data into the payroll software and actually updates the direct deposit schedule. Okay, but again, if you're doing things manually yourself, You got to contact the bank and make sure that the bank has the proper information. The bank has up-to-date information on file. Otherwise, they can't really process the direct deposit. Okay. So at this stage, you want to check for any significant errors, missing numbers, or incorrect account information. Sorry about that, account information. Because failure to do so means that the employee's bank account or checking account won't receive money, and you do not want to be in a situation where your employees are expecting payment and nothing happens. Next, I want you to really you want to run standard payroll processes. Okay, so after completing the first 4 steps that I gave you, the direct deposit setup is actually ready to go. Okay, now you have to actually make sure that you run things based on your company's payment schedule. Okay, so this could be a weekly process. It can be a bi-weekly process. It can be a monthly process. Okay, it's important to understand that the direct deposit system doesn't change based on the frequency. Usually, it's always either of those three: weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. Okay, now what are the benefits of using direct deposits? I really need to talk about that, because otherwise you will be losing a lot of cash. Okay, now there are many advantages of using payroll direct deposit, both for the employer and the employee. And you'll be surprised, it's not just about the obvious reasons that everybody knows, like safety and speed. No, there's more than that. First of all, direct deposit replaces manual processes. So having to perform compensation manually can be tedious and draining on staff resources. If you're running a business, you do not want your HR department to actually, your whole HR department to be busy actually running payroll every 2 weeks or every week or every month. Okay, so preparing paper checks is also a time-consuming task, particularly for large companies with thousands of employees. So direct deposit replaces manual options with a more hands-off system. Direct deposit promotes employee choice, so when staff or team members choose direct deposit, they can often add bank account details for both checking and savings account. And this is kind of cool because it allows employees to take control of their financial health by automatically sending money to actually savings. Because direct deposit, an employee can actually say, listen, I want you to send the cash to this account and that account. Usually you have options. You have up to 3 accounts where you can really allocate funds into. So direct deposit also saves money on preparation and postage. So printing physical checks and paying for letters and stamps can add up. So reduce postage and needless administrative cost with the use of direct deposit services. This is going to help you big time. And also, last thing, it's really eco-friendly. We live in a world where everybody's thinking about eco-friendly initiatives. So as more companies promote green initiatives, reducing paper use is an environmentally friendly choice. This year, at least. I mean, even next year. I mean, this is a sustainable process. So I've just shared with you the pros of using direct deposit. But hey, listen, as everything in life, there is nothing perfect. So there is a flip side to it. There are cons. There are drawbacks of using direct deposit. Okay, some employers feel a loss of control and the loss of the personal satisfaction of giving their employees a check at the end of a pay period, if you will. However, as your business grows, embracing change and anything that will streamline your process and improve efficiency is really important. So, although there are many perks to implementing direct deposit, there are a few negative aspects to consider. First of all, you have potential overdraft fees, no option to stop payment, employees must start over when changing banks, you have possible banking security risks, and you have costs and fees. Let me break it down for you. So when I say potential overdraft fees, careful maintenance and upkeep of the payroll bank account or savings account is actually required to ensure adequate funds for each payment are present. Overdraft fees are always the responsibility of the payer, not the payee. So when I say no option to stop payment, unlike physical paper checks, you can't place a stop on an electronic transfer once it's been initiated. If errors are made, they must be corrected after the deposit clears. So employees must start over when changing banks. While this is a minor inconvenience for most, a new authorization form is required every time an employee wants to switch or even updates their account of choice. Okay. You also have the security risks. So although ACH is a secure method, collecting account and routing numbers is a sensitive process when you think about it, right? It's really important to handle this data safely and securely to avoid access to account information. And finally, you have a cost and fees. I mean, using direct deposit actually requires having a reliable direct deposit provider who deposits money into your bank or credit union. This service is generally, let's say, an administrative investment. So in addition to software and payroll provider cost, ACH transfer may incur banking fees as a small percentage of the transfer. Although minor, this can range from a few cents to a couple of dollars, okay, per check, and businesses should be aware of these charges rather, in order to maintain accurate books. So if you are thinking about setting up direct deposit for employees, it's important to know that employees are different from contractors. Okay, so I really want to talk about that, employees versus contractors, because how you treat the one category can affect your bottom line big time. So is direct deposit different for contractors as compared to employees? Both will likely appreciate the service of this popular payment method, right? So both employees and independent contractors are eligible for direct deposit. There are minimal differences in the process between the two types of payments, but essentially they are very similar. Let me explain here. For contractors or freelancers, enrolling in direct deposit may be a simple matter of preference. For example, contractors may choose to be paid into their business account. So regardless of employment status, the ACH network transfer for each payout is the same, really. The main difference, and there's a big difference, the main difference is that contractors will not have a W-2 on file. So verifying identity and contact information is important when making a payment. Okay. Now you can also simplify direct deposit with payroll software. Okay. You don't have to do this manually yourself. So before implementing any payroll process, set aside time to understand how a payroll software works, so that you can identify the right payroll tool and what options are there, what functionalities are there. Take time to learn how a payroll software tool works during this onboarding process. This will allow your business to handle many different types of financial transactions easily, okay? And one thing I want to say here is that basically with the right payroll software, you can easily set up and manage you can manage direct deposits. You can ensure your employees are paid on time every time, and the platform can securely handle the process, reducing errors and saving time compared to manual systems. Okay, it's one of those things where you want to look at time, the time that you are saving and the money you're saving also. So by integrating billing, accounting, and payroll software in one place, you are able to streamline your operations so that you can save time, you can save other resources, and improve efficiency, not only in the short run, but also in the long run. So that's something to really think about. But again, you can really set up direct deposit manually, or you can just use software to help you in the process. So here's the epilogue into this conversation. I explained to you how to set up direct deposit, and as I told you what direct deposit is, how it works, how to set it up, the benefits, the pros and cons, and finally, the difference between employees and contractors. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.